Hello, welcome back everybody. Got another cast for you guys. This time it's one of my own games. This is actually from a tournament that I am currently playing in. Just finished my first game. It's a mixed open or mixed bases opens. Mixed base opens. The entire gimmick of the tournament is that every map that we play on is gonna be mixed base, which means our factories and stuff are all mixed together. As you can see, it's not one definitive side. And our factors kind of intertwined. Yeah, so that's pretty much the whole gimmick of this map and kind of the tournament. You got some. It's a pretty generic map. After that, it's got some comm towers. You got some airports. Quite a lot of airports actually. You got about 4 in total. These middle airports are gonna be really important to take early on. If you build a battlecopter here or here, you're pretty much threatening three avenues of attack. You can go here with your battlecopter, here with your battlecopter, and here with your battlecopter. You can essentially force 3 anti-airs, which is 24,000 out of a 9,000 unit. So airports are going to be really strong on this map. Now my opponent here, I don't know what that is. I'm just going to call him Adder. But he's a very experienced opponent. I think he has about 100 games played on by web. He's about ranked 1,000 points in league. So a very good opponent. Probably one of the best I've played. At least seriously. So yeah, let's start getting into this game. Pretty basic, nothing really commenting here, just building infantry. I will say it's this property for my opponent is probably really annoying because you probably want to go for the airport first, but since I start with this cap, since I go second, he instead has to go for this property instead of going for the airport. You see on my turn I go for the airport instead. These properties down here and up here are going to be very contested, especially with these mountains. Putting a mech here or just infantry is going to make it very hard to capture the city for both of us, really. Especially since we have factories so close, we can easily just produce more infantry or whatever we need. Also, I didn't mention this earlier, but these mountains, very annoying, especially with this airport. Your battlecopters, if they see an anti-air, they can just run away beyond these hills and just kind of attack, run away up here, and just doing whatever. So keep going. I'd say the first mistake here is I'm sure he saw this, but as soon as he saw me going for this airport instead of going for this property, I think he should have sent an infantry down. I'm not going to capture this airport, but from stopping him, capturing this airport is very big. He definitely wants this airport, especially if I can get mine, I'd be at a huge advantage here. Oops, here I go, I'm like, oh, I'm capturing this property. But next turn, I'm just going to abandon that and start going for the airport. Kind of just like a little ruse, as you would say. And he's going to finally start capturing his comm tower. I guess that's one positive of going for this property first, is he is going to get the comm tower 1 turn earlier than me. Except I don't think it's really worth it, because comm towers don't give you any income. As you can see, we're about a turn or 2 away from any actual engagements. You see, I'm actually getting my airport before he does. And his infantry are actually nowhere near his middle airport. So there we go, I open up first tank. I can't remember exactly why I chose this bottom spot, but I figured I definitely want to secure this airport. And if I can secure these 2 properties, I think I'd be at a big advantage. Because these properties here and here, I wouldn't necessarily say they're his, but they're not necessarily mine. They're conflicted territories. Except I would definitely be favored since I have 2 factories in the area. I can produce a lot more units. So favored for him over here, favored for me over here. I forgot to commentate, but I did build a mech. I think this was a mistake. I shouldn't have started capping here, because allowing him to get a first shaman mech with his infantry is a bad trade for me. Mechs are 3 times as expensive as infantry, and they do infantry, if they get the first strike, do just about as much damage. And he actually goes early battlecopter, which I wouldn't say is a bad play, but if you don't use the battlecopter right, it could be a huge detriment to your strategy. Yeah, so definitely have to build an anti-air soon. Yeah, so you're just killing his infantry, trying to get these properties from him. And so far, pretty even. He has one more property capture than me. But it's actually pretty good for him because I'm about to capture this one. But he's also about to capture that one too. Yeah, so here you go. Just interrupting some of his caps. Trying to stop him from making any more income. I go second tank again. Or not again. For the first time I go second tank. Which is a little worse than for him because he has no tanks so far. So my tanks are just going to run Supreme right now. They have nothing to stop them. Yeah, there's this battlecopter, but it's out of range, and I can build an anti-air here, which will complete zone it away from my tank. Yeah, unexpectedly he stops the cap, but you know what? I don't care. I got this property, and I'm stopping him from getting the airport, which is really big on this map. Real annoying. He barely is unable to kill my infantry. If he got a good look roll, I think he would have been able to kill it. I will say one thing he does better than me in this match is he gets to his these side properties faster than me. I see he's already capped one of the cities, and he has 2 infantry going in. I think I could have captured these a bit faster. But I think that's just kind of the sacrifice I had to make to try and stop him from capping his airport. So there we go. I go first battlecopter again. I'm really threatening all 3 areas, which is really annoying for him because he doesn't know where he needs to build his anti-air. Yeah, so just really stopping him from getting his caps. Like I said, getting these caps on these 2 properties are going to be really hard. Except if you do get it, it's going to be very hard for your opponent to take them back. So there you go. Finally getting the calm tower. I think I got it quite a bit late. Maybe going for this city was probably the better option because I did take quite a few engagements so far, and getting that 10% firepower increase could be pretty game changing. Yeah, so I moved my tank down here since he built a tank up here. Like, alright, I'll just send it down here and get some free shots on some infantry, since this battlecopter is out of range. So now it's his turn. So he's just moving up his infantry, getting some caps. He's still slightly ahead of me in the capture game. He got 1 more property more than me. But I am potentially about to capture about 3 properties. Yeah, tanks rolls in, shoots at my infantry. But again, I stopped this airport for a very long time, which is really annoying for him. Really good for me, though. Yeah, and he built another tank up here. So again, just interrupting caps. Really don't want him getting any more income. And again, just kind of using my tanks to clear out these infantry. Yeah, so I just moved this battlecopter up here because he has 2 tanks. I'm really forcing him to build an anti-air here. If he builds an anti-air here, I can just kind of move somewhere else to one of these and force him to build an anti-air there, which is very annoying for him. And I finally build my anti-air. It doesn't have on this map. It doesn't have as good as movement. These forests are really hindering it, and these mountains. But it can still kind of zone out the battlecopter. Battlecopter is really limited in its movements. Can pretty much only move about this way right now. Yeah, and I built a mech, another mech. The first one didn't work out, but I was like, maybe I learned from my mistake. Instead of trying to capture the property, I can just focus on trying to wipe out the infantry, put this mech in the mound instead, and maybe go to capture if given the opportunity. Yep, so he's kind of rolling in his tanks. I didn't really have a, uh, a solution to them or a counter to them for a while up here, but I did just recently bring this battlecopter, which is good, but again, he's going to build an anti-air, so I should start to get some tanks up here when I inevitably am forced to retreat my battlecopter. Now, probably the biggest mistake of this match right here, he moves his battlecopter. I am not sure why he does this. He moves his battlecopter onto this mountain. He could have just easily moved it here, here, or anywhere beyond these mountains, or really even over here. I think he just wasn't paying attention, probably. Yeah, but he moves the battlecopter here. Ryan range of my anti-air. I get a free kill on his battlecopter. A really big mistake on him, especially for the early game. It really matters. And as you can see, I really pulled ahead in the economy game. 12,000 to 16,000 right now. Making quite a bit more than him. And I still don't have these three properties captured. So it's looking really good for me right now. And I take a good engagement on the mech. Infantry versus mechs are very good engagements. Yep, so he definitely should have built anti-air here last turn, but definitely a big mistake on his part. Allowing my battlecopter to get some free shots on his tanks. There we go, so just kind of applying pressure on this right side. Yeah, so here I go, 2 mechs. With Adder, I like to go mechs, because mechs, they have really bad movement, but with Adder's power, he gets a +1 movement on his units, so I built them so that when I get my power, they can utilize that +1 movement. Yeah, so there's small engagements going on. He is starting this bottom area. I was able to get these 2 properties, but he's doing a pretty good job of pushing me back. I haven't really committed that many troops, but still, he's doing a good job kind of pushing me back here. He also did a really good job. I didn't mention it, but you might have saw he trapped my tank here. He moved infantry here and trapped my tank and built a tank here. So that was a really good part on him, trapping my city, or not my city, my tank on a road, and now you can take engagement from the city. Yeah, it's a really good engagement there. And then he activates his side slip, which yeah, that was a mistake on his end. He had his side slip at the beginning, of the turn. He should have popped it at the beginning of the turn because on by web you do get every CEO gets a universal 10% firepower increase when they use any of their powers. So he could have used it and got this tank a 10% firepower increase. Yep, so he moves that, or not moves that, uses his side slip and destroys my infantry up here, which is kind of annoying. But it's fine. I got these 2 properties, and I'm denying him from getting these 3 properties, which is really big here. It's now 15,000 to 18,000. And he finally builds an anti-air here, which is really good on him, but Again, he's not really. I don't think he's really paying attention to the range here because his tanks are right outside of range of this anti-air. So again, I'm getting more free shots on his tanks. And again, he goes for this airport capture. Really denying this airport is really big for me. And again, I go another battlecopter because battlecopters are going to be really good on this map. Now, I send it up here because I'm like, you know what? I think denying this airport is probably the biggest priority right now. If I can just deny that airport, I'm going to be in a really good state. And again, look at all these tanks. They're all at 5 HP. It's really bad for him. Especially since he can't build any battlecopters of his own in this area. There we go. Again, getting another pretty good engagement on this mech. And look at that. A slight mistake on him. You shouldn't. Or actually, I used my power, but you gotta be wary of Adder's power. Popping my power here, he kind of caught me off guard, and I got a really good engagement on his infantry. So here, being really aggressive, I go with my anti-air, take out some of his infantry. Except a slight mistake on my part. I think I built a battlecopter here. Yeah, I built a battlecopter here. Something you have to keep in mind when you're playing Adder, at least when I'm playing Adder, is when you pop your power, it obviously shows the +1 movement, even if your unit cannot move. So here, I'm looking, my battlecopter can move onto my anti-air, but next turn, when my power wears off, it's going to decrease the movement, and I'm actually out of range of this anti-air. So now he gets a free shot on my anti-air. Yeah, so that's why I kind of moved this anti-air up here. His next turn, he's going to get a good shot on my anti-air, and I can't reach it with my battlecopters. Yeah, I build another takedown here. So again, the game's really going in my way right now. 16,000 and 19,000. And he has about 41,000 value into his army. I have 65,000 value into my army right now. Yeah, so there we go. He gets a good shot on my anti-air. But it's not the end of the world. Anti-air, their main job is to take out battlecopters. And 5 HP anti-air can still do a lot of damage to a battlecopter. And putting on a steady to heal up about to 7 is just about perfect for me. It doesn't need to be at full HP. But it's still kind of annoying. You want to keep your units nice and healthy. So there you go. He pops his side slip. And he tries to kill his infantry, but barely unable to. Yep, trying to capture this city. I mean, it's a good attempt. Kind of keeping me busy, but he's not going to get it. I got a battlecopter here. I could build more battlecopters. Yeah. There we go. Builds a tank and an infantry. Pretty good composition by him, but I think he needs to be more careful with his units. Look at all of these units. Loyal health units. 1 HP, 3 HP, 4 HP. A lot of damage using units. It's just good to keep them alive, but you gotta keep them healthy too. Unless you're maybe playing Andy or something. But again, he's not. Oops, I accidentally. What's the next turn? Yeah, but he's not. He hasn't really taken very good engagements here. He allowed me to get a lot of shots on his tanks with my battlecopters, which is something you definitely do not want. Yeah, so now 17,000 to 20,000, and I'm about to capture this last uncontested property. Yeah, so here I move my battlecopter and take a shot at the infantry. Kind of weird played, but I'm like, you know, I think this battlecopter's got its value. if he wants to take out my battlecopter, I get a free shot with my mech, and I get a lot of value out of that. Mechs just destroy anti-airs. I don't want to say destroy, but they do a lot of damage to anti-airs. I would say this is a mistake, though. I move my battlecopter up here and interrupt the cap, which is good to interrupt the cap, but it leaves me in range of this anti-air. He can definitely just shoot down this anti-air. Shoot down the anti-air. Shoot down the battlecopter. Except he will have to stop the cap, but I'd rather keep my units alive. That's kind of how I like to play. I like to keep my units alive at all costs, pretty much. Unless they got a lot of value out of them. I try not to be a heartless, but sometimes I am. Yeah, so he plays really cautiously. He's seeing that he's not going to fall for my trap and go for my battlecopter. I actually built a medium tank here. I'm like, I have a huge, economically, I've been taking good engagements. By going medium tank, I'm forcing him to go medium tank. Now, if he goes medium tank up here, he can't build anything down here. Not a battlecopter, maybe like a few infantry, but forcing him to go medium tank is going to force him to leave out these areas. It's going to make it easier for me to push through these two areas. So really just using my economic lead to kind of force him to straighten himself, really. Yep, so it goes another anti-air. Force him to build a lot of anti-airs. Like he has 1, 2, 3 anti-airs right now. Now it's my turn. Again, a slight blunder on his part. He leaves a tank, kinda not in range of my mech, but with my power, it is in range. He tries to block it, but I have a battlecopter here. Take out the infantry, take out the tank. Get a really good engagement right here. So, yep, pop my side slip. Oh, actually, it's infantry. I forgot about the guy. Still, even better. Because now I have my battlecopter used too. So there, really good engagement. Really good engagement for me. I move out my medium tank. Again, stopping this property. Probably the best move of the game right here is being able to stop this, stopping him from capturing this property. So here, just from way downtown, move my tank up here, take out that 4 HP tank. Really just pushing my aggression here. I'm like, what? I have the money to replenish my troops. He doesn't. So, I'm just gonna try to kill as much units as I can, inflict as much casualties as I can. Yeah, so about a tank over here. Because I think he has a slight numbers advantage. Yeah, he has 25 units to my 23 units, and he's about to build more. Yeah, so something kind of what happens is he builds a lot of units up in this area. They're not, it's more fodder like infantry, but still I need to clear them out and build more units later on. Yeah, it's kind of a mistake on my part. He builds an anti-air and takes on my battlecopter. I thought I was in range, but again, added a side slip can be kind of annoying. Getting a +1 movement. Yep, so again, he's forced to go medium tank here. And medium tanks cost, I believe, 16,000? Yeah, so if he builds a medium tank, he can only build 2 infantry. But infantry are really good, but this late into the game, I got tanks. A lot of tanks, battlecopters, infantry, they're not really going to be all that useful. Especially if you can't use them to block your more important units. Yep, so again, he's still trying to get this property. It's about 1 more turn away, but I'm going to interrupt it again. Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, he kind of has the numbers advantage up here. He has a lot of fodder protecting his medium tank and his anti-air. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be enraged with this medium tank, and it's not much I can do. So I'm like, you know, I'm just bring it down and kill this tank. Why not? Or, you know, take out some of these infantry, try to get this fogger out of the way. Again, I go another medium tank. I'm like, you know what? I have a really big economic lead. Forcing him to build more medium tanks is really good for me because I can afford other units, but he can't really. Yeah, so like 18,000 to 22,000. I was just kind of putting my pressure up on this left side, trying to capture some of these properties. Doesn't really go that well for me though. He does good at good engagement on my tank though. Oh, my turn now. Again, just really putting pressure on this property, trying to capture it. Again, start with infantry up here and a tank because I'm like, you know, I really don't have anything up here. Don't want him capturing these cities or these cities, so I start moving units up here because he has quite a lot of infantry. Really, kind of a threat. So here, just moving up my medium tanks. I know I'm in range, or actually, I'm not in range. I thought I was in range. This one is in range though. Here, I'm like, you know what? I know I'm in range of this medium tanks, but you know what? Who cares? I have two. He can get the first strike, but I can get the first strike with my other tank, and then use this tank or one of the other tanks to shoot on him. And again, interrupting this cap. Best move of the game there. I think I skipped a turn. Yeah, I did on accident. Fast forward. Oh, I barely skipped anything, really. Okay. Cool. I actually built a bomber here. I'm like, you know what? I destroyed your anti-air. If you want to counter my bomber, you're either going to build a fighter, which is not viable because he'd have to build it way over here, or he had to build two anti-airs, which is, again, 16,000, which is pretty much a medium tank. So, again, I'm using my economic link to just strain him. He doesn't have enough money to build counters here. And again, this bomber, it has a really good range, or decent range, really. It can go over here, it can go over here, really forcing him to build anti-air. And again, you can't just build one anti-air like battlecopters. You need two anti-airs to counter a bomber. So he really just does not have the money for it. He does build an artillery, which I kind of get. He's really down on the economic lead. He needs to take favorable trades, try to get some value out of this artillery. And again, he's just taking out my infantry here, which is good on him. It's been on me kind of leave my infantry out in the open. He's really just getting free kills there. Yep, so there we go. So I'm going to activate my side slip. Kind of just take some trades, stop the cap. And that was a blunder on his part. He moved his artillery into range of my tank. I think even without my power, I was still in range of his tank. So really bad move on his part to move his artillery here without any protection from this left side. Yep, so here I'm like, you know what, I have nothing in this area. I need to really beat back this push. So I move my medium tank down here instead of to this city. So here it can heal up to 7 HP, which is pretty good. And he can still pretty much take out on everything he could build here. I do need to build an anti-air though, since he's building a battlecopter. But again, I have a huge economic lead. I can spend the money to build an anti-air. So again, getting a really favorable trade here with my medium tank, only taking 1 damage. And again, stopping this cap. Here, just moving on my bomber, taking out infantry because there's no other better choices. But again, just forcing him to build anti-airs instead of tanks is a really big positive for me. Probably would have been better to build other stuff than a bomber, but I remember at the time of playing this, we were playing this live actually. We were watching each other's turns. And there's actually about like 3 other people playing, or not playing, watching this match. So I was like, you know what, I want to go for a meme unit, but like something that's still kind of usable, so I went bomber. I think probably tanks or medium tanks probably would have been better than a bomber, but you know, bomber's fun to see in matches. Yeah, so again, he's doing a good job here, pushing me back. But I did build a tank. I'm like, you know what? If I send a tank in here, this zone's pretty much captured. Because there's no way he's going to be able to afford a tank. He does start capturing my airport, which is a little scary, I guess. But I do have a factory and infantry here. Plus, if I really need to, I can move back my bomber. Yeah, so he builds 2 anti-air to counter this bomber. Really bad for him because now he has absolutely no counter to my medium tank. Or even really my regular tanks. He has a 8 HP tank, but that's about it. Now I go recon because I need to protect these properties, and a single infantry and mech aren't going to do it, so I just go recon. Plus, if I need to, I can move it down over here and start killing out some of these low HP infantry. He does get a good, decent engagement from this tank, though. Yeah, so he just kind of pulls back here, kind of solidifies his position. Which is good, but in this situation, you really need to start capturing properties, because every day that goes by, I get a bigger lead. Yes, again, just moving my tank here, just really trying to solidify this area. Yep, so I thought he was going to move some infantry up in this spot, or up into this area. But he didn't, so I decided to move my recon over here and take out the infantry so I could take out his artillery and use this tank for this tank. Yep. At this point, I think the game's pretty much won for me. I have such a huge lead. But he continues to fight on, which is okay, but I think at this point, I think it'd be better just to resign. Yep, so he actually interrupts his cap, which is gun him. Moves his medium tank onto HQ for repairs, which is not a bad move since he can't afford to build a new one, but it's going to take so many turns to heal up this medium tank to a functioning health that the game's already going to be over by then. But I guess there's no really better move to do, so I can't really blame him for trying. I get a good engagement on my tank, but I'm going to be in range with my anti-air. Okay, he actually builds another anti-air. I'm not sure why he did that. He already has 2 anti-air in this area. He definitely should build a medium tank, or save up to build a medium tank if he can afford it, or just some regular tanks and artillery. Anti-air is probably one of the worst options he could have picked. Here, I'll use my side slip and I actually build 2 mechs here. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start applying some pressure on this city, on this airport. So I go some mechs, some just infantry that can pass through these mountains. Yep, just really applying the pressure here. There's nothing he can really do with these medium tanks here. Again, just kind of working on taking on these anti-airs. Well, I guess that's probably why he built an anti-air. He saw that an anti-air was in range, so he built one preemptively because he knew I would destroy it. Yeah, so I could comment here, but yeah, I built a medium tank, and I think this is where he resigns. Yeah, so he pops his side slip, but then he resigns. Yeah, there's pretty much nothing he can do. I had a neo tank, infantry pushing in here. Killed 39 units, lost 37. Generated 236,000. He generated 221,000. Yeah, so I had a huge, or not a huge, actually not that huge, but it's about 15,000, which is pretty big. That's almost a whole medium tank that I generated more than him. And in terms of kills, value, he killed 89,000. Deaths, 113,000. Kills, 111,000 to 92,000. Yeah, so usually where you're going to get your values in kind of preserving your units from dying. And I see I lost 92,000 in value. He lost 113,000 in value. Yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the cast. I'll probably post some more of my matches once I finish, but not even the second round hasn't started yet, so it'll probably be quite a while until I'm able to cast the next round. So anyways, I'll see you guys later.